Hey, this is video number 2. Today I want to talk about, if anybody's ever going to join me on my channel, um, this is about money and consciousness. This has been coming up over and over repeatedly between, it's been a long time. I think it always is. If you believe that everything is consciousness, then it's hard to quantify what money actually is. We all want money. It's just been a strange trip for me to contend with people's beliefs in a system of people who believe that they essentially arose or were created from something unconscious that is the planet. It's like we think of the planet as this thing that is not consciousness. It's just a rock. It's just that which we use to create our wealth and that which we use to get what we want and that which we use to take the space from. And it's hard to reconcile with the belief that everything is consciousness after you've believed that the what you're what you were born from or what you arose from was something other than consciousness. It's been hard for me. There's so many aspects to money and consciousness that it seems like it'll never end. It's almost easier to be ignorant of the fact that everything is consciousness. It takes a high level of knowing yourself within yourself and knowing that you are creating and being comfortable creating and manifesting your own experience within your own mind to realize that everything is consciousness. At that point, you do realize everything is consciousness, and you realize what people are doing to themselves in many ways. It's almost like everyone lives in the mind of God, then everything is consciousness. And you are creating a part of that experience, which is all experience. It's like there is nothing that isn't alive because there is nothing that is. At some point, I don't know when, but if everything is consciousness, then what is unconsciousness? There should be no unconsciousness, but people are ignorant of things. They're just like, no, I don't know. It's like, I'm just unconscious. I don't know. But everything is consciousness. I really believe that now. It's like if you just see everything in terms of a flow and just energy and experience, and your own experience is what you are creating. I don't think people realize that. They think they're in like this physical system of physical matter that is. I mean, you are not everything. It's easy to fall into the trap of I am consciousness, I am everything, therefore I am money, right? It's like what part of me, if I am consciousness, I am everything, then what part of me are you hiding from me? It's like you're hiding a certain experience from me or the time. It's like you say that's your money. It's like I see that you are hiding this amount of money from me, but in my mind that might be mine. It's not like I'm trying to steal your money. It's like from a consciousness perspective, we're all consciousness. If this is another person and they have a number in their head that they think they're worth, then what is consciousness at that point? It's like I think we're slowly embracing the fact that everything is consciousness. It's like we ourselves, within our minds, bodies, hearts, imaginations, and everything, are just a temporary note in a larger symphony of consciousness. And it it's not that I'm trying to take your money, and it's not that I'm trying to be not be a part of this system, but it seems to make it harder as I become it seems to get harder as I become more aware. I have to find myself more, and I have to be more present within myself to even realize that I am still human, or I am still not what I believe that I am. And but you're also what you imagine yourself to be. It's like we create all this wealth, and within consciousness, what do we call that? Is it the time? Because I see time as just energy. At that point, you just believe that a certain number in your mind is what you're worth, or what you're able to experience in the future. But that's not true either. I think there's a large growing number of people who are realizing slowly that your experience is what you can make it within your own self, within your own mind, within your own body. No matter what job I'm at, no matter where I am, it's like your experience inherently gets better as you better yourself, you better your own mind, you foster a beautiful imagination within yourself, and you create a beautiful experience for yourself all the time. And you never, no matter the hurdle, no matter the hurdles you face, it's like, yes, you're going to work a shitty job. It's going to still be shitty. It's going to be shitty, but you're going to, it is what you make it, though. That's always the case. Everything is what you make it. But money seems to have this strange effect on people. I mean, just to talk about I just want a simple, that's what everyone is seeking, I think, is just the simplest and most beautiful structure of the universe that makes sense of things in a beautiful way, simplifies their life, and makes everything more pleasant and better. That's all we want. That's all anybody wants. Except if we're transitioning, though. The hard reality of it is consciousness never really bloomed. It never really became all that it could be, which is humanity. We're not all that we could be. We could be much more, but we're less than we think we are. We're less than we could be. And from someone who continuously imagines, this is my problem with time and money. It's like people who are highly imaginative and they're creating a beautiful experience within themselves continuously are and they know that their inner being is working within them, and they know that their eternal essence is, and they know these grand concepts which seem to peer through to eternity with that connects us all, to peer through to an eternity that somehow connects us all. And then to sacrifice that all to get a shitty job and say I want to start making money just seems, it's inevitable. I need to make money because I need to survive. I need to get I want things too. I want to share a home with someone. I want to share the space with somebody, and it seems like I have to buy the time, though. I have to buy the time with my own pain in order to, that's just a gloomy reality of all the jobs I've worked. It's felt like, yep, I'm just working. That's all I'm ever doing. That's been 10 years of my life since I was 16 or 17, and now I'm 27. 10 years go by, and all I do is just think in my mind, and slowly you start to believe and realize that your time is worth more than so many millions of people's time. It's like, if you don't, then you'll be stuck at that job and you'll have to make the best of it. But at some point, at what point do I realize there's no correct point? It's just clearly my imagination and my potential and the quality of an experience that I create within the world for people, just being a happy person or something, just being just hitting all the boxes of I'm not a bad person. I don't do anything terrible. I maintain my health. your average person score goes up and you're able to move more fluidly through everything. I think there should be a value in, I don't want to say conformity, but uniqueness. There should be a value in uniqueness that our current system continuously overlooks. It's like we don't care what you're feeling inside. You could have a million dimensions within yourself that are never expressed. A million things, a million suns. You could be the universe itself, but your boss isn't gonna care. He's gonna be like, "Well, dude, that's cool, but we got to get this shit done. Like, I don't give a fuck about who you are." I mean, that's the reality that we all face all the time. I mean, but coming back to consciousness and money, it's what is it really then that is going to keep us in the dark for a long, long time? Like, we've already been in the dark for a long, long time in terms of, I mean, like, there's so many aspects, I mean, to money and consciousness. People all believe that they are worth what they made, but they don't know what they made. I mean, I can undervalue your money quicker than you can make it. I mean, it's like if there's imaginative, creative people like me who see money as a means to, $20,000 to me could be the rest of my life. It's like that could be a farm, a nice house. I mean, a nice, like, crappy place that I throw together, but would still suffice for me. I invest a little bit of it, and I like use $10,000 to. I use like $1,000 to buy a piece of land out in Arizona, and then I get like, you know, $1,000 to buy a piece of land out in Arizona, and then the rest of the 10,000 to buy just materials to make a house that's sustainable. I already have like solar panel, and I would do like toilet, and I would do the plumbing myself. I would do the concrete work myself. I would do pretty much everything. It's like it's so close, but it's so far. It's but there's this strange thing that happened where every job I had was like the time felt like it was getting longer and longer. It was like, wow, I'm just like really dying here. I'm like dying so purely that it was like, yep, I'm doing my job. I'm doing a good job, but I'm like just seeing things flow through me, flow by me, not in control of my own experience or my own self, but still aware of it all the time. Like, it's just a strange experience, my work history, seeing the cycle of unhappiness repeated over and over and over and over within people. It's like you go to work, you hate your job, you're going to continue to do it because you know you need the money, but the experience that you're hoping for, it might not be there when in 5 years after you make the money. It's like somebody's going to do that before you. It's like that's the ruthless nature of a beautiful, unique experience. It's like if you want to remain at the forefront of human knowledge and experience, you have to be continuously diving into the unknown. But you don't need money. That's the thing. You can be the most unique, beautiful, amazing person, and of course you're not going to value money. The best people don't. They're just, I mean, it's a situational reality where you're fighting for money. But I just want to attempt to enlighten your mind by saying the resource that you're fighting over will not bring you happiness. It's like money will not bring you happiness. It is so clear to me that it won't. Do I need it? Yes. Is it something that is, I mean, Pink Floyd says money is the root of all evil. I mean, that could be true. We need evil in our lives. People just don't realize it. They're like, if everything was just good and enlightened, we don't need evil, but we want to maintain the shadow. I mean, like, we all have shadows, inevitably. Maybe that's inherently connected to money as well. We need something in order to maintain our shadows, which is the human workforce. It's like, that's a crazy reality, but it's hard to find money within consciousness when people are extremely lenient on its definition. It's like, it's not a problem. It's just like, you tell somebody, oh, you need more time. Oh, you mean money. You need more space. Oh, you mean money. You need more love. Oh, you mean money. It's like, money can be anything you want it to be. That's what people make it. But it is only what it is to the collective. I mean, like, it is a resource in which you can use to, it is pain as well. It's like, money to, it's complicated. You're dealing with many people's beliefs. In order to change the system away from what you don't want it to be, you have to make people believe that they are stuck in some way. It's like, you could have had a great life and you could have lived in this system, and but it's changed for us. I believe us millennials are like pretty shafted in many regards. We have to like, we all have to watch as like people get famous and not have any of our dreams come true. We're just gonna like be working for the rest of our lives, or so the system goes. Um, and that's kind of just how the system's set up. That's how it is. It's not wrong. It's just, how good of an experience and life can you have with little money? The answer is a pretty large amount. I mean, a pretty good life. You can have a pretty good life, but but I still want money, of course. I mean, like, I'm still trying to make money all the time, but even the means by which you can make money are decreasing, though. It's like, you can make an app. Oh my god, that's so novel. It's like, why don't you do something within your own mind to make yourself a beautiful, unique person? I tried to make an app, but I mean, I've made a couple apps. I've made a couple games just with like some random software. Um, and it always ended with me in a confused state of how to reconcile my belief about everything is consciousness with the fact that, I don't know, everybody's just doing the same thing. It's like, at what point will we be bored of Netflix, apps, phones? It's like, your phone is an access to the whole world and many different places. You can literally use the internet. I think it's a physical structure as well as a mental kind of structure that's like, has no real form. It's like, the internet can be anything. In that way, it's kind of strange to think that it's kind of like formless until you look at it. But even that is just fucked up for me. It's like, I don't even want to believe that I'm just the number that this screen is telling me. And then I learn about, all the components that goes in within it. It's like, what you're really facing isn't anything anymore. What you're facing is your beliefs. It's like, you believe that you are the money that you make, but do you realize that you are creating your own experience? Do you realize you're manifesting your own reality? It's like, that's the truth, though. It's like, even when you're making money, you're still, if you're unaware that you're manifesting reality while you're making money, what are you even making? It's like, are you making money? Are you manifesting your reality in a way that has money within it? I want to have an experience that I'm comfortable around everyone. I mean, like, with rich people and stuff, but it's been hard for me to contend with people who believe in objects freeing their souls. It's like, I don't know. It just takes a certain level of awareness, but it seems like we're going to be trapped in this reality for a long time. It's like, inevitably, somebody's going to be sitting behind a camera making a video for the next, like, 500 years. Like, what structural changes have to occur in order for people to realize that the structure of reality isn't what they think it is. But I don't know what money is if you manifest it. It's like, why can't I just manifest $1 million sitting on this couch right now? Like, just, I am consciousness, I am everything. But it comes down to space. People are like fighting for space. They think it's space, but you're not fostering space within yourself. That's where all space actually exists, is within. I mean, you can try to find a space that is outside of you, but even if you look through a telescope, all you will see is your own observation. It's just strange to think that time and space are one thing, but we treat the internet like it's just a reality that I've had to deal with. I mean, it's not. I just like to be aware of what people are believing. But you can't believe something without knowing the truth. And I don't know. You continue to make money, but what are you fighting over? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. Is it time? I mean, money equates to time and space in some sense. I think it equates more closely to pain, or correlates more closely to pain, or the potential for pain. I mean, it's like you have the ability to make tons of people work. If you have $20, somebody would work their ass off just to, hike 3 miles to come and get your $20. What do you have? It's the potential for pain. I see that within consciousness. It's like, what is money? It's the potential to make pain. I mean, that is a certain from some perspective, that is true. It's like and then it gets dark. It's like, yep, you have the potential to make pain. So if you pay somebody, they're gonna allow you to do to like put them in pain and stuff. And then you get to the power aspect of money, where it's like, well, I have power over 50,000 women. They're all in my company. I essentially can fire any one of them. I can ruin any one of their lives. If you have 50,000 employees, you can ruin any one of their lives, and then you have this power over them to inflict pain. I mean, it all comes back to power and pain, and it's just messed up, though. I don't see how we're going to survive, how our hearts are going to survive the continued fragmentation of our souls. And that's kind of how I see money these days. It's like, all right, you have all the money. Like, there's people out there who do have a lot of the money. It's not like they have all of it, but they're unwilling to realize that anything has changed, and that is going to create a lot of pain. I mean, inevitably. You're holding on to all this money, but if somebody creates a new belief in what money is, like, for us, I don't think it is pain. For me, it's my dream. It's like, there's a dream. I need it to make my dream come true. I need it to get what I want, but even beyond that, who I want. I mean, not that I think that somebody would like me because I have money, but I want to be able to give somebody what they desire. And in that sense, I want money, but I want money more for myself than anyone else. I mean, I'm not just going to be able to pussy and be like, babe, I'll buy you whatever you want. Like, no, I'm not going to buy you anything. You can buy your own shit, but get your own money. But I mean, the system shouldn't operate that way. It should be, it feels like all of my potential has been wasted, if not stolen. I mean, like, if I have beautiful ideas arising continuously from within, and I have an awesome imagination, and I'm continuously creating things, and things are continuously coalescing in my mind, but I'm never being paid. It's like I'm just a free resource of ideas and beautiful thoughts and love. It's like if you maintain your love, it seems like you should be paid for it. But money and love is a completely different story. It's like then you get into the bullshit. It's like, no. If you love me, I will make money for us if you love me. I will of course do that. I would have a better time. I wish I was with somebody that was responsible and wanted to make money with me and just like, build something together. That would be awesome. But that's not the case for me right now. It's just, I just have to, you know, I don't know, just make something of myself without anyone, because every time I try, money gets involved, and I don't let it. It's just a reality that I refuse to be unaware of. It's like even the movements of money. I don't want to be unaware of the power struggle that is going to control us all. It's like you don't want to be unaware of that. You want to be as aware as you can be of who is in control. It's like the richest people are in control right now. There's nothing you can really do about it. You can't even talk to them. I mean, there's no way. Something important could happen, and I mean, like the most important things happen within. If something important happened, something new was created, something amazing happened, it feels like it would be just taken from me. It would just be like, oh, somebody just did that. It's like, I just had that idea. How can you ever know what original ideas you have? I don't know. But it is exhausting, though, just to make money. I mean, you have to work to make money. Everybody knows that. But at some point, you don't. At some point, you're just coasting. And you're just like, well, I made all my money. I pressed all the right buttons. I mean, like, that's what it comes down to now, though. It just gets sadder and sadder. It's like, how little can you do while maintaining your potential? It's like, you're not even doing anything novel, and there's all these beautiful people around that are making awesome things and are becoming beautiful souls. And then there's these people who are just like pressing buttons, pretending that the internet is going to, pretending that everything is going to continue the way it is. It's just, it's just, I don't know, hard to explore what is true when it's hard to know what is true. I mean, it was nearly impossible to even get to this point of awareness. It's like people don't want you to be aware of the ways that they make money. A lot of people. There's a lot of bad people who just do shit for money, and they're just like, "Yep, that's what I do. I'm like a hitman." There's like, you can't even. I don't know. What does it mean for consciousness that there's all these? I mean, that's my theory of reality at this point. Everything is consciousness, and I am a temporary mind, and that mind dreams this body, and my which is my manifestation of reality, my body, my life, my time, my energy, my money. And it doesn't seem, I'm not going to say fair, because I don't care if it's fair. It's like we don't want things to be perfect. Like, just think of like a perfect reality. There is no such thing. There's literally no such thing as heaven. I don't think there's a such thing as heaven. If there is, then it's deep within myself, somewhere that has yet to be created yet, like a beautiful piece that I wasn't aware of, that I was capable of. Maybe that's heaven. But it's within everyone at that point, you know? It's like, how much of a beautiful person can you become? I don't know. But there's something that continues to happen that is just freaking me out. It's like the internet has been a bane in my existence a lot of the time. I mean, money isn't even physical anymore. It's just an idea that everyone holds to be true, which is fine. Because I hold the same idea of money. I need money. I need money. I mean, it's not like it's a secret that people need money. Everyone requires money. In the system that we set up, I think people need money now more than ever. I mean, like, it's almost a requirement to desire money and be greedy, just because if you're not, then you'll be a lot sketchier if you didn't want money. I mean, you're just like, no, I don't want money. But what are you hoarding, you know? People are hoarding the potential to do bad things, and it just seems like we can do better. We can get money into the hands of the people who will make a difference. That's the most important thing. Because if we don't do that, then, you know, everything just goes on. And it just gets sadder and sadder, though. I mean, it's just hard to see how unconscious we can be and how unempathetic we can be, how insensitive we can be to people. It's like all sensitivity is just systematically scrubbed out of you, and you become this hard awareness of the truth. And the truth is, we all need to make money. We all have to do our job. It's like, it scares you. The people's belief inside is that. It's like, it's this. It's like, settle down. Settle down. I mean, people foster that awareness within themselves, though. They're just like, I need this. I need it to be this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I need this energy right now. It's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm going to give you the respect you deserve. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But that's also what it comes down to. But it's just so stagnant. It's like, you don't have to be aware like that. The only reason I continue to desire to be aware is my desire to be aware is just curiosity. It's just, I'm curious about what the truth is and what's going to happen in the future. But there is no future. All we have is this present. How beautiful can you feel within this moment? And then what does money become? If there's only this moment, if you only had this moment, you had no future plans, you weren't going to work every day, and you weren't making money to do the next thing. Can you just be happy here with me for 5 seconds? You don't know what's inside of me. I told you already, it's like a million dimensions coalescing into some beautiful thing that I have no awareness of. But I will never know it, because it's like continuously stripped away from me. It's continuously taken away any potential that I have to meet people. It's like, if I ever want to connect at the depth of my soul, I don't think I ever will. I mean, I want to. I want to meet somebody who wants to connect at the depth of their soul. But my soul goes so deep, you wouldn't believe it anymore. It's like, we would have to travel through so much internal chaos in order to reach, just because of my memory. It's not that I've ever not loved my soul. It's that from circumstances alone, it's just happened that way. It's like my soul is buried under everything. And how do I get it? How do I get out? That's how it feels most of the time. All the jobs I've ever had, they felt like they're burying my soul. Why are they doing this? Why do I have to feel like I'm a light just compounding in darkness? I mean, that's how it feels sometimes to just be anxious and depressed at work. I mean, that we all know that. It's just like you feel like darkness is surrounding you and you're just falling into a deep dark place and you're just like still trying to work, still trying to do your shit, but you're just like anxious for the world. You think everything's getting darker. And then you get really depressed. You're just like, well, I don't see any way that this can get any better. And you have to realize that you are the one that's in control after that. I mean, I had this experience, but it's time for me to let it go, you know? It's kind of like how, after you have a shitty experience, no matter if it's forced or not, it's kind of like, what can you do to make your memory a better place after the fact? And what can you do to, you know, I mean, terrible things happen to people. There's no denying it. But, I mean, you don't have to let, healing is not something that happens by any force. You just have to let things heal. But money is causing us extreme pain beyond anyone's awareness. It's like, that's kind of true. I don't want to be the person that's aware of things when no one else is, though. That would suck. So, you never get anywhere talking about consciousness in relation to money. It's nearly impossible. It's like we've become so structured in our system of materialism and objectivity that and it's hard to talk about. I mean, it's like it's physically demanding to realize some things. Like nobody's gonna watch this. Nobody's gonna get in. Nobody's gonna get within like 100 miles of this video because they sense that it's like a painful topic. It's something that they don't want to realize. That's true, but it's just that you have to realize that objects don't matter. The only objects that really matter are people. But people run on money. They require money to eat, to enjoy things. I don't know. I don't want to be aware. I just want to be happy and ignorant. I mean, at what point do you just say, "Yep, I'm just happy and ignorant"? I mean, that's how everybody kind of is, except you don't have to be. You can be aware of your eternal essence within yourself. I know that much is true. I don't know. I think one of the biggest problems is just it's just repetition though. It's just, I don't know. You get good at anything that you continuously do. Making money included. If you want to make money, you can get good at making money. But it doesn't feel right though. It feels like I want to know what I'm actually doing when I'm making money, but I never do. I want to know what I'm actually doing when I'm making money, but I can't figure it out. It's like, what am I actually making for myself? Is that just my indecision talking? But I also would like to know what everyone's doing with their money. I mean, everyone would like to know that. Well, yeah, I mean, like companies are paid to do that. They're just what is everyone doing with their money? Facebook's going to get your geometric, biometric DNA profile and perfectly sell to you things that you so desire. It just doesn't feel right anymore. It's like I just want peace within myself, but money is the opposite of peace. It's like there's but people often refuse to realize that. They're just like, no, money is peace. I mean, it does create peace in the sense that you are happy while you have it. You have the potential to cause a bunch of pain. I mean, that's true, but is that all? No. You also have the potential to meet tons of people, travel to tons of places that are essentially locked by, I mean, like you can't go places that you love no matter if you wanted to or not, because everyone believes that you have to have money to get there. It's like, if we didn't believe that, then perhaps we could, like, you know, make a different kind of system or something. But consciousness and money, it's just wrought with issues. I don't know. I see why people don't want to realize everything is consciousness, because their money goes away. It's like, where's my money? Where's my power? Where's my potential? Where's everything that I desire? Where's all the shit that I want? It's all gone once I realize that the consciousness is everything. It's like, yeah, that's partially true. It could be true. Or you can just believe that whatever you want. I mean, everyone has the right to believe whatever they want, but I don't know. I just want things to be simple before I realize the truth of life is inherently chaotic and painful. And we all die, and everything ends, and there's really no silver lining. Everything just continues to get worse, and it never gets better. I'm kidding. If energy has anything to do with it, though, there's like the law of conservation of energy. It seems like it should dictate money, but it doesn't. It's like, yep, all these people have all this money, and and then it should be the opposite, right? All these people should have all the money, but it doesn't work like that. It works in a paradoxical way. It works like all these people have all the money and they're feeling really good, and all the poor people are feeling really bad. And then how does it switch? How does the energy get maintained? All these people that have a bunch of money, they start feeling really bad about themselves, and they're just like, well, fuck, man, I have all this money, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I didn't build my company on anything substantial. I didn't. There was nothing, and it came from nowhere in my heart other than just desire for money, which is essentially the desire for just like, more evil in the world, but you didn't realize it. You didn't found your company on anything substantially beautiful or inherently wonderful, and then you're gonna pay the price for it. It's like, yep, you had all this great time, you had all these great experiences because of money and all the things that you made, but no matter whether you're, you know, it seems like there has to be a correction, and it's going to be an internal correction, and it's not going to involve money. It's going to be like, there's so many beautiful experiences that you can have without money. It doesn't matter if there's a million people with $1 million. You're going to have a happier time. You're going to have a more beautiful experience just because you're you, just because you're imaginative, just because you're fun, just because you're open and loving, and you know it's like that's possible. That there's going to be, you know money doesn't make a better experience for yourself. You have to make a better experience for yourself. You can do everything for yourself except for, realize who you are, and realize what you are, where you came from deeply, and there's really nothing else to it. I mean, there's just the struggle for money is internalized though. That's where I have a problem. It's like externalize that shit. Get angry about money. Go, beat some people up or something. Do something. I mean, like, fuck. Don't just sit around and do nothing. I mean, it's easy to do nothing, but I mean, if you want to go steal some money, I can't. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but and you shouldn't. But do some people? Is there an inequality between people because they don't have money? Absolutely. I mean, inequality inherently exists, and it ruins nearly everything if you look deep within yourself of the pain that everyone's experienced in the past. It's like, what is the point of continuing forward at this point in consciousness? It's like, your consciousness, I'm consciousness. I don't believe that time exists. There's only this moment. Once I believe that, then what does money become? Nothing. It's just that which I desire to continue to. It won't even allow me to have a better dream, though. It's like, I'm going to live happily on food stamps for the next year. No girls are going to come by me because they're just going to be like, fuck, this guy's like on food stamps and shit. I'm like, yeah, but I'm like having the best time. I swear to God, I'm going to have like a lot of fun. It's like, yeah, maybe, but you don't have any money. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't know. That's not cool, for one. For two, you're probably an asshole and you don't realize it. How deep of a person can you be? How beautiful of a soul can you become? Important questions. But do they have any basis in reality? Are we just dreams? Nothing really matters? Everyone seems to think that something matters. Does anything really matter? I mean, time and consciousness, it's just such a struggle. It's like money, if consciousness and money were two different people, it would be like consciousness is like a man and money is a woman, and money is just like, consciousness, you're dumb. I don't like you at all. And then money's like, money's like, consciousness, I don't like you. And then consciousness is like, you are me. And then what? I mean, like, I don't know. Consciousness and money. It's stupid. I can't believe I'm going to die without reaching any of the potential of my dreams. It's like, I'm going to die and be forgotten and nothing will ever matter. It doesn't matter what happens inside. I don't know. Get greedy, I guess. Just make money. Do whatever the fuck you want. Nothing really matters anymore at that point. I mean, you just ruin everything. I don't even know why I exist, It's like there's no point. I don't see a point. There is no point to existence. You make your own purpose. You make your own point. You can just drop it all and say nothing. Nothing matters anymore. It's like the only thing that is a sustained purpose. It seems that money beats all purpose. Is there a deeper purpose than money? No. It controls everyone. There's no deeper purpose that we've given ourselves. Is there a more beautiful purpose we can imagine? Yes, absolutely. But is it ever going to replace money? No, probably not. It's probably going to exist for the next like 150 years before something else occurs or happens, and we're just stuck behind our internets It's like, great, I don't see any God anymore. God is what you imagine it to be within everything, but it's just as easy for me to become the state in which people observe as it is to become the awareness. It's like, I'm aware of the state of money, but I'm also aware of myself as the state of money. It's like, I am aware of myself to the extent that I see myself as money within consciousness. Then what? I don't even know what to do from there. I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's just, I am aware of myself as the state of money within the universe. It's like, that makes you not only no one's going to realize that, though. They're just going to be like, no, money's something outside of myself. Is it? Or is it just become a number that somebody's labeled you? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's probably just a number. It's probably just some random number. It's like, yep, you're worth this much. This is what my phone tells me. What even is your phone anymore? Nobody knows. I'm not advocating for anything, but everything seems to be locked, and it's just frustrating and continues to be frustrating. I don't know. I see the only silver lining for me as music. It's just, that's the only thing capable of making changes that I want to see is, you know, aiming straight for the restructuring of your soul beyond your awareness. It's like, we've become so unaware of what we're doing. How will we ever reconcile with the pain that we've caused each other? I mean, as we become more and more aware beings, someone has to be aware of the whole at some point. It's the only way it exists, consciousness. And when you become aware of yourself as everything, money seems to be this illusion of, I don't know, of ignorance, maybe. It's like, I have this much money. I have this much what? It wasn't always this way. Like, it could have been completely different, but here I am sitting here, happy to be alive, unwilling to give anybody my money. I mean, I'm not going to give you my money. But that's how everybody is. I mean, how can you get by? I don't know. Someday God will be really sad he ever made humans. And that'll be the end of it. That's going to be the end of it. Someday God's going to be like, fuck, why did I do this? This is a terrible idea. Why did I make these assholes? I'm kidding. I'm going to get a job, but I don't know how to feel about money. I mean, I know how to feel about it. I feel good about it, but it's almost like a automatic response that I'm trying to get rid of. It's like my thoughts about money and my own value is inherently more than what anybody is willing to give me, is willing to see me as, is willing to believe that I am. And that's true for basically everyone because I see myself as everyone. It's like if God's self is present within everyone, how are we valued differently? We just are. It's just because everyone sees you as a loser. If everyone sees you as a loser, then you're inherently valued as such. But I still have God's self within me. I still have the potential to create beautiful things and imagine beautiful things and create a beautiful experience with myself. But it doesn't seem like it's worth it anymore to don't know. What am I even fighting, you know? It just doesn't feel. What am I fighting? I'm not fighting anything. If anything, you're just fighting yourself. Are you continuing to fight yourself? And then why? Why are you fighting yourself? It's like you fight yourself at every turn, whether you want to or not. There's just a continuous struggle between you and yourself of who matters more. That's what money kind of, you can see it that way. Money and consciousness. It's like consciousness is inherent within all of us as our inner being and God's self. If we can agree on that and we can see God within all things as this beautiful synchronistic universe before our eyes in certain situations, at some point you've realized that the earth can be beautiful, then you have to wonder why you don't see yourself as beautiful anymore. It's like you're just, I mean, part of it is that there's like a million different versions of yourself lined up right next to you, and you're just like, well, I know exactly where I stand in this stupid system that somebody created to compare all of us to each other. It's like, never compare yourself to anyone. You are always present within the moment, creating your own experience. And when more people realize that, it becomes like a dream. When more people realize themselves in the present in a beautiful way, the bigger the dream becomes, the more beautiful our experience is. And then at some point, you might realize we never needed money to begin with. I mean, we used it for our own pleasure and enjoyment. And it might have been a fun trip for a while, but I would have been happy just like meeting people like, you know, way back in the day, but it wasn't peaceful back then. Just think of, I mean, that's just how it happened, but think of an enlightened world where, dream of an enlightened world, dream until it comes true. An enlightened world that has no need for money. Just keep dreaming of it. I mean, it's not impossible. People will be locked in their jobs for how long, and how bleak will their experience become before they realize that they're killing themselves? It's going to become so bleak. I mean, it's not that we're going to die of World War III, it's that we're going to die of base reality boredom. It's like there's just continuously the same experience repeated. I mean, if you are consciousness and you are everything, and you are continuously experiencing the same thing over and over, and nothing is novel, it's like all the objects that I've ever seen, I don't feel like I've ever needed. If I was born on a farm and all I had was my imagination, and, you know, yes, things break down, but I think that's only in response to the flow of the system that we created. It's like we are inherently dependent on this very needy system. It's like there's, you know, notifications popping up telling me to pay them every 5 minutes. Hey, don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget. It's like, yeah, okay, I won't forget, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just talking and expressing myself as I see this current situation unfolding within consciousness, which is everything. I can't unsee that. I can't unfeel that as my reality. I'll just have to contend with money because I have to make it. But if you made all of consciousness and you made something that's bigger, that encapsulates, if I can imagine something as big, or if I can imagine something bigger than the world, then all that is within that sphere of imagination is me. It's like it could be such a beautiful thing that everybody just believes that it's something else. I don't know. But then you took control of all the movement within the sphere. Then I know that I'm God and that I have control of the world. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's not that I don't know that I have control of the world. It's that I don't know how would anybody ever get by without money? They wouldn't. They have nothing better to do. At this point, I just don't have anything better to do. I'm gonna go get a job and just do the same thing I've done before, and I'm gonna be miserable and probably commit suicide. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make some more money and try to get my shit straight and go from there. And it's gonna be just a long process. It just feels like the more we get into the future, the less desirable it becomes to begin creating new things because there's this increasing energy flow of like, all right, this is the way it is. And then it's like people are discouraged from doing novel, beautiful things, but not because of anything other than movement of a system. It's like the way that I don't know anymore. Consciousness, energy, money. I just don't care anymore. I'm just gonna get a job and just do my job. And I mean, I can't go back to like not believing something that I used to believe or something. I can't go back to like after you become aware, it is impossible to be unaware. You're never going to lose that awareness of who you were, what you are, how you feel. I mean, you're never going to lose your memory entirely. There's always going to be a feeling of presence. I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say today. Consciousness and money. It's never going to stop fucking with my head because I just can't. I mean, everyone is going to think this to death, and it's just going to be a very unpleasant experience for people trying to realize themselves as a higher level of consciousness and having to contend with money continuously. It's like, okay, I get it. You want to be a beautiful person from within, then you have to realize how little you need in many cases. It's like how little you need to be happy. You're never going to find a better experience with money than you are within yourself. Like you might find something outside of yourself that brings you temporary happiness, but you won't they won't always be there. They won't always know how you're feeling. Only you can create from within for yourself. Only you can create the world for yourself from within. But it seems like the system stops manifestation in some aspect, which is true. It's like it becomes hard to realize that you are manifesting reality. I don't know why. Maybe it's a good thing. Who knows? All right, that was my mind on consciousness and money. I'd probably have a more in-depth video sometime. This was just like how I was feeling about it and how much of a struggle it's been to deal with these concepts in my own mind because they are important, of course, but they're more than important. They're people's realities. It's like, is money a reality or is consciousness? Consciousness is the only reason that consciousness is going to win over money. Eventually, it's going to. I think it's going to. I think it's going to happen. Eventually, everyone's going to want to live all of their dreams, and everyone is going to want to explore things that they never knew were possible. Everybody is going to want to transcend into a beautiful reality. Everyone is going to want to become something they never thought they could be. Everyone is going to want to know the truth and get down to the bottom of it and see themselves in even the lowest of people and realize that they are even those people who don't have any money. Eventually, that is going to happen. I believe this. I mean, it might take a long time, but the potential is becoming too strong to deny that there is a beautiful transformation occurring that will have eternal effects within consciousness. And it doesn't involve money at all. It just involves the peaceful presence of being in realizing that you are one with everything and realizing that you are everything. You are one. But it's just a feeling. You're not one as in, you're not having somebody else's experience. I think there's a geometric reality that will never allow anybody to have anybody else's experience. I believe the flow of information and time that is involved within an experience that is going through us will not allow us to have anybody else's experience. Because I've often wondered many times whether I could relive experiences that have happened before. If that's possible for God, why is that not possible for me? I mean, that's always been my question. If time travel is possible in any sense, and it's possible for God, then why is it not possible for me? I think it's simple, really. I mean, you don't want to, it must be beneficial to remain as I am in the present, believing who I think I am. Because this experience is unique and it must be something. Do I want to go back in time? Sometimes. But if that's something that is able to happen, I don't know. Honestly, I think about this all the time. It's like, how do I go back in time and experience something that I already experienced? I don't know, but what I'm manifesting is from my body and from my presence and from my mind, my imagination, my heart and soul. And how can you manifest money at that point? What are you really manifesting, you know? You don't know anymore. So everybody's always, how can I manifest money? You can, but it's more of a fostering of an awareness into the frequency of money. It's like you're becoming the frequency of money itself, and then you're in the money because you're literally at the frequency of money. Frequency of money. I'm gonna get this straightened out in my head at some point. I don't want to be depressed anymore, but I think money will help me there. That's for sure. But it feels like, I don't know. If love exists, what is money? If love truly exists, what is money? You know? If love truly exists, why do we need money? It doesn't exist in some people. I think that's why we need money. Respect, power. Who knows? It's just a continuous struggle that is just going to hurt for a long time. Will we ever reach a state of peace and enlightenment? And when we do, can we sustain it? I've had so many beautiful dreams where we're all enlightened, beautiful people that are completely transformed into something that we didn't think we were capable of becoming. we all reach our higher being at the same time. We all reach our higher levels of consciousness at the same time. I don't know. Okay, that's all I have to say. Consciousness and money.